Hello Gemini, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I am going to start on your shuffling for this new reading for you, the first one in the new year of 2024. So, I have absolutely no message coming in. This is strange. So either Gemini, you are totally out of contact with someone, that there is no contact, there's no messaging, there's no contact, it's gone or dropped, or it feels very void. Absent. Something is absent, or a Gemini is absent. A twin is absent. Maybe Gemini is known for the twin element. Let's have a look. So if you are, I don't know, dealing with a Gemini, you are a Gemini, you have Gemini somewhere strong in your chart, personal planet, Sun, Moon, rising sign, Venus, Mars, Mercury, then I would say that you could, and you feel like what I'm saying is could be interesting for you, and then maybe there's something in whatever I'm going to figure out here for you. In the two other readings of Aries and Taurus, there has been an element of the finding the core of you, that like who you really are, and what you really resonate with. And for you, Gemini, it could be the feeling of like an absent twin, right? We know that twins have a very strong connection. They are almost empathically, telepathically connected, and without that, I guess that for a twin it would feel abandoned or alone somehow. Like a twin that loses a twin is probably like a really big loss, right? Because it's a very special connection. So I've had the Six of Cups turn up in both the Aries and the Taurus reading. That does talk about joyful communion with someone else, happy nostalgic memories about someone who was very special, right? With whom you just clicked and everything was just this beautiful playing. It was a beautiful, you could say, mutual, beneficial energy. So let's see here. But I had this sense of void, like a non-communication, like it's not there somehow. So what is there to say if they are not there? Well, it means that you could be feeling that you are in a stalemate of some sense, get like the feeling of a prison, but a prison of your mind perhaps, that you are alone and you are somehow, not engaging with what could make you really happy, right? Maybe an estranged, I hear partnership, but I get, I feel like relation could be partner, partner can be a romantic partner, a friend, an estranged partner, but who would be the right environment, or who would be the Six of Cups. I get like it would be missing them, right? Missing someone. Four of Cups energy, Six of Cups energy. Wow, what's going on here? Like they really want to say something. Door to romance closed here, right? Reversed. Not possible. Or maybe you have closed your heart off, right? Because you miss someone. Or someone has closed their heart. Again, I get this estranged, something that once was that is not anymore. And I get no contact at all, no communication, no nothing. I feel like I should take this also, and it's over here. I have to get it up here somehow. Yeah, I get this feeling, like of being, you can be with a crowd of people, but still feeling absolutely lonely and alone. And it's like there's something very vital missing that is not there. That you have to, I get it's like persevering because of a sense of lack or loss, or absence is the readings here are this time of this round of readings. I get it's something like who you are at the core, and you can't, escape it or run from it. So if you are a twin, or you feel very Gemini energy, like that is very you, that there's something missing somehow. Another person, maybe, Geminis are said to be quite curious, talkative people. They are chatty and light-hearted, and maybe there could be a sense that there is a side of you that is not there. Maybe you used to be light-hearted. Maybe you used to be chatty. Maybe you used to be outgoing. But now it's like that side of you is maybe not so, or is absent somehow. That you do get my point? It could be a person, a friend, a soulmate. It could even be an animal. Like it depends on who you have that connection with, right? Some people find that an animal is like really resembling like a true friend, you know, and I'm not going to decipher what that is for you. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a, you know, as I said, like a part of you that seems like it's, like maybe you remember it, that once I was outgoing, once I was chatty, once I was curious about life, and now it just seems like it's kind of not there, or, okay, you get my point, right, Gemini? So I feel like the theme is something that seems absent. So how do we deal with things that seem absent? Like, are we angry about it? Are we frustrated, bitter about it? Are we sad about it? Are we miserable about around that, or because of it? How do we deal with something that is not there anymore, or that has chosen not to be there, like they have left, you know? They are gone, they have moved to the other side of the earth, on the other side of the globe, to another city, they are in another relationship or something. How do we deal with that absence or this void feeling? And what is it bringing up? Is it what is it bringing? Like bitterness, fire, anger, grief? What is it bringing? And how do you deal with that? How do you cope or deal with it? If this is a dear friend, or like literally a biological twin, how do you deal with the loss of someone who cannot be replaced? Right? They are special. And the connection with them is like nobody can come in and just replace that. It's almost like a part of you is dead or void somehow. Let's have a look here. So I get the Hermit. The Hermit is Virgo energy. So, and Virgo and Gemini are set both to embody the Magician energy. So this could be someone you came across at some point, or you have Virgo somewhere else in your chart as well that is influencing this reading. The Hermit is a seeker, right? It's like wandering in the dark here, searching for something, looking for something. This can I get almost a bit of a nightmare with this one. Like not that they are a nightmare, but the searching is a nightmare, right? It's like the feeling of a never-ending story, in the dark, alone, searching for. He searches, right? And I've said in some other readings, like when we are on a search, it's because something is not here already. It's out there somehow, or we are hoping it is. So we search for something. When we are on the search, it's because it has not already arrived. It is not here yet. As long as we are searching, the universe can hear us, and they will say, oh, here's someone who searches, so let us give them more search then. So they will bring more and more attempts you can try where you can search for something. To stop this search, you have to say to yourself that it's already here. Stop the search here. Stop searching. For someone who resembles or is, or where are they? And I say this is easier said than done. I completely understand this. I'm just saying that this is what the universe brings you. So just be aware of that, right? What has been the reason for you starting a search here? Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. So I get the Nine of Swords, of course. This is a nightmare feeling. Waking up at night and all these thoughts are incoming, voices, thoughts, blames, guilt, the feeling of I get almost being attacked by your own thoughts here. Sleepless nights, ongoing thoughts that seem to come to you, maybe while you sleep or when you try to rest. Like Nine of Swords are also confusion. One sword is known to be clarity, right? Here you have confusion. You don't know where to go, you don't know what to think, what's the right thought, what's the right thing to do. It's like an overwhelm of thinking, right? An overwhelm of, like the way she crosses her arms here, I get a feeling of attack, like being attacked, being unsafe somehow, and searching for something here that could potentially help you. It could even be that this hermit is your protector, right? Because he's a wise old man here, that he is a protector, right? He could be the one that you would like to be here, someone who could make this go away, like a magician, right? Someone who could make it go away, fix it, make it go away. But this pain here, because this is very painful here, and it disturbs you, it disturbs your sleep, your well-being. Nine of Swords is like a nightmare feeling. It can be anything, grief, right? It can be but it's swords related, so it has to do with the way you think, how you understand the world, your identity even. Like being alone here can be the feeling of like an identity attack, that you cannot stand alone, right? That a twin needs the other twin, right? That together we are whole, right? Together we are one. Together we can deal with the world, right? Together, because we understand each other so well, and we have experienced the same things, or we know each other so well, and we see the world from the same perspective, right? So I need my other twin here, right? I feel very alone or unprotected here without them, right? Yeah, I definitely have that feeling, and the search, and again, he's walking alone here, right? He's alone here, and for some reason I get a feeling that this could have been gone on for a very long time, that he's looking, and now he's stumbling across this snake here, right? So what's that now, right? What is this? I'm searching for something. The snake could represent maybe that a sense of poison, right? Almost like your brain has been affected by something here. Maybe you have figured out, you've been on a search and you have figured out what the snake is that has been poisoning your mind, right? What kind of virus or what kind of thought pattern or what kind of obstacle. It's like you stumble across this snake here. It shows an infinity sign, typical snake infinity symbol. He's looking at it like, what am I going to do about this? Because it seems dangerous, right? Well, he could be bitten by this snake and he's all alone here. So how do I proceed my journey here when this snake is around? It could feel that there's an obstacle that is dangerous ahead of you, in front of you. For some reason, the red ribbon here is standing out to me today, and I see this in the background. I don't know if you can see her. There's this red lady here in the background. And for some reason today it comes across like a twin ghost, or, well, not ghost, spirit maybe. That something is coming in here, but like the red usually indicates something about roots, right? Where you come from, origin, that you are connected. She could be connected to you here. She could be family. She could be on the other side, but family, right? I hear story. She is your story. Story. Or she has a story to tell, this one. And you are carrying this story with you. It's right around your waist here. It's like you are walking, but you are carrying her with you. And the story of her with you. I say her because there's a picture of a woman here, but of course you could be a man, and then I would say it would probably be a man here. Then if you are identical twins. It's like there's a story of the other that seems like it's coming in, like it could be like intuitive, that you feel like you're communicating with something, and it's bombarding you here with different feelings or thoughts here, different stories, or, well, you know, there could be thoughts here of shame or guilt, or what you should have done or could have done, or maybe you feel guilty about something, or shameful or something about maybe a circumstance that led to a departure, or led to a death, or led to a separation, led to a void somehow. And on a search, the hermit is usually alone, climbing the mountain or going through the forest alone, looking for specific answers. One of the things that happen when we are alone is usually that we are able to hear ourselves a little bit more. Like we take ourselves away from normal life and sit alone and contemplate, you would say, about life, about so this could also be because he seems like he's a bit elder or more mature, elderly here. And so this could be a memory from when you were very young, right? When you were very young, perhaps, or younger. Because this is a driver card that usually leads you to becoming or looking for or contacting the hermit here. This can be a development that you sit here and feel terrible and you turn into this seeker, right? He's looking for answers. But it seems quite dark here. The hermit, I believe, the hermit is usually someone, how I see him is that he looks sometimes in the subconscious where there is darkness, something we don't know. This can be looking into a family secret, or maybe, even just something like if you are unsure of your heritage, maybe you are doing some kind of heritage research, something you didn't have access to. Like the hermit tries to acquire access to knowledge that is hidden, forgotten, maybe a lie, maybe you were adopted, maybe things like that. Things that have not been said, an untold story. He's diving into what seems like the dark forest here. The dark forest is a place where you can't see anything. There's nothing that is lit up. There's nothing that is conscious, you could say. You're not aware of it. You have no clue. You don't know. So you could be looking into, I don't know, something like that with the hermit here. Trying to uncover a truth of something. Maybe a secret family story or something like that. Because something seems like it's following you or was following you around. And because you woke up and you have these thoughts or these stories or this, it's like you can't leave it alone here. Right? Leaving it alone just makes you feel really, it's like someone wants to contact you, right? They want to talk to you, give you their story, or get some kind of connection with you. And it has led you to search for them, maybe, or to look for a secret or something untold here. I feel like, untold. Looking or to acquire certain information here. But there is this snake. For some reason it stands out to me, this snake, like it's almost like the snake is like, like a portal keeper, that you have gone into a search and you have found out stuff. Like he has grown older and more mature on his search here. But this one seems like it's a block, like a roadblock. Like he's pondering what to do about this. What does this snake represent here? Can I get a card on that? I get 9 of Swords here. 9 of Swords is typically a card of exhaustion. It's dangerous. I said that with the snake, right? It's dangerous territory. It's like if I go in here, I cannot be protected, right? The 9 of Swords usually talk about a warrior who has been battling for a long time, and it seems like the battle is still not over, right? He has put his fence up here to protect him, and he's just taking a bit of a break here, but he still holds on to his wand. He's still on guard, he knows that he's still looking over his shoulder. He's still not trusting that where I am is safe. He is still on guard here. He's still defensive, I want to say. This can be a sense of an ego defense that if I search more or if I step into the next level here, it's I said it was the snake. I wanted to know what the snake was about, and the hermit is standing in front of something that is saying, maybe take a look at yourself. You are quite exhausted. This journey you have been on is exhausting you, right? But for some reason I have this feeling like it's like the hermit can't stop, like he has to keep moving. But the snake is saying, you need a break here, right? You need a break. If you continue, If you continue, you will be exhausted. This is going to drain your energy. You are already drained here. He looks like an old man, right? You are already drained. What is it maybe you should stop searching, right? And trust your instinct, trust your intuition on something here. You already have had a lot of incoming thoughts here, but they have been unpleasant. The Nine of Swords indicates that it's hurtful and painful. This is sleepless nights, wandering thoughts, messy thoughts, confusion. It's not clarity. It could be the feeling that you sit with different versions of the truth. You know, people have told you different things about your lineage, for instance, right? They have told you different stories. You feel betrayed maybe here, or lied to, confused, wanting to find the truth here. But the truth seeker is standing in front of something that is telling it that if you continue, this is going to be very exhausting to continue. This could be like your ego that shows up and tells you what you are doing is draining you. What you are doing is maybe a never-ending story. Like the Nine of Swords here indicates a warrior that doesn't think that the war ever is going to be over. He's constantly he's bruised and he's looking over his shoulder, right? This can also talk about you are realizing, you are finding something here that tells you that something has bruised you. You are carrying, as I said, it's like you walk with her, like she's a part of you that is there. Like the red ribbon here is like her presence is with you all the time, right? So searching for her is not even a thing. She's already there. Like she is with you, or he here. Like they are with you. They are around with you. I feel like almost inbuilt in you. Like they can't just leave. Like even if they leave the earthly plane, they can't leave you. Like not if you are an identical twin. Or if you believe in twin flames relationships, like they can't just leave. They're part of you. It's like you carry them here with you. Whether or not you have a memory, you know, maybe you knew them, right? You grew up with them. Maybe you have never known them. Maybe you were separated, adopted, something like that. But it's like there is something here, right? And you may only have, let's say, the ribbon here could be like a clue, right? Trying to find this other half of you or this other person. The ribbon here can talk about maybe you have just a little item. Let's say a piece of jewelry, or you have a book that was theirs, or you have just a little bit of clue, an old letter or something, right? And that's the only thing you have to go by. You don't know how to find them, where to find them, if they're even alive maybe, and so on. You're on a search here. Maybe you are, the hermit is normally on ground out there, but in this today's world, I would say maybe this is someone searching the internet. Looking for heritage, DNA heritage online or something. There could be something like that. But it's like hitting a roadblock where the snake is kind of confronting you with, like, this is a never-ending search for something and it's exhausting your life force energy, fire here. It feels a little bit like a warning, right? That if you proceed, it's like it's going to, it can feel like a vulnerable state. Like a vulnerable state where you have been looking and fighting for something for so long, but well, it can be like an ego defense. It can also be that you have come to a point where you don't want to fight anymore for something. Maybe you're giving up. Like this can be the feeling that this is, the search I have been on is too damaging. It's like hitting a roadblock here. It's too damaging to my existence, right? Because I keep being in this void where I seem to get maybe information, but never getting to the end goal, never finding them again, or never finding the person again, or even their grave, or just something. Like there is no closure, and this non-closure feeling, or the feeling of finally getting it, or having it, or knowing it, is exhausting here. So you could be facing your own exhaustion about something here. You could even say that because I believe like the void is there for some kind of reason. Like either you disagreed on something and you bounced off each other, right? You were separated because of certain values perhaps, or certain beliefs in life. That's the reason why you bounced off each other, but it could also be the beliefs of others. Let's say, as I said, if you were adopted, you were born, but you were separated and adopted to different families. Then you could say you didn't do anything. This was a circumstance that happened, and you had no fault in it. You were just born, you could say, so some of the decisions that were made were maybe not yours. Some of the circumstance that may have led into this separation was maybe not yours. But it's definitely, the search I feel like has been tough here on your energy. It's difficult. I want to say to keep it feels like, when you lose faith, like this is like a soldier that has been looking and fighting for something so long, keeping the faith, honoring the code, or having a code, honoring it, following direction, following orders, but has been out there for so long looking for something that he's kind of losing faith here. It has been so draining. It has been such a long search. It has been so difficult. There has been very little success, very little leads or direction, or results. So this is a bit like losing faith in something, because your energy is low here. So I get this card, River of Blessings, releasing constraints. Well, this feels like ego release. Maybe being the hermit and releasing those constraints. And maybe that's what has been difficult here. For some reason it says River of Blessings, but I feel like the blessings, it is maybe showing up, or it is maybe starting to come in, but I think it has been more a river of tears that has been sorry. Releasing constraints is usually not necessarily easy. But when we do, it can come in as a blessing. For some reason I feel like attachment, releasing constraints can be attachment to something. Maybe that's what you're figuring out here, that you have come to a roadblock where you're seeing how exhausted it is to be attached to something that, and you have been searching for it for so long. The attachment can direct your entire life. So maybe become aware of the attachments you have to people, things, places, I don't know. Or the codependency, right? That come with some attachments. Because then attachments become constraints. You're constrained by them. And the ability to release it can give you a sense of blessing or freedom. At the bottom of the deck for the river, here I get this card. It says angelic assistance, divine guidance, loving support. I think that it's almost like an advice. It's like there's something like these are like these cards that are here, like they are surrounding you at this time, like advices. So if you feel like this, and I get a feeling of being attacked with stories or information, you can call in some help here. From the highest realm of light. You can call for the support here. To help you release whatever constraints may have been here, or attachment or guilt maybe. Yeah, I get a feeling of guilt here. Calling in from the highest place of light, angelic assistance, to help release some of the constraints. Constraints can be guilt and shame, right? It can be any kind of grief or confusion, or like the confusion can constrain you, right? That you don't know, that you don't have clarity. Like not having clarity can be a constraint in how to move forward. I feel like you could be standing with like this bump in the road where you are losing faith or kind of fed up, you could say. This guy doesn't want to abandon his post, right? He still wants to be this loyal knight that keeps fighting or looking for answers, but he's exhausted, right? He needs a break. He needs to sit down and have a good meal and a good night's sleep without looking over his shoulder, right? He's tired, right? This is someone who feels haunted, right? They have no peace. There is no peace here. There is only worry, only being on guard, only armoring up, only, this can be a nervous system that is a bit on fight and flight mode here, or a lot maybe. He's quite exhausted. And again, I have this feeling searching maybe for the one who should protect you, because again, I feel like being attacked. It's the same thing, like they are under attack here, right? And it's, or feeling under attack, or feeling unprotected, like there is no peace. There's no peace here. There's no peace here. There's no peace here. It's like a war that never ends, or a dis-ease in the body that never ends, a fear that never ends, an unsettling feeling in the body that never leaves you with any kind of peace and relaxation. That is what this feels like. And maybe you have been searching for a relief somehow, maybe by isolating yourself, and now you have figured something out, right? You are realizing how exhausting this is. And there are things you can do, right? You can call in, even if you don't believe in, like angelic help or assistance. You have a guide team around you. You can call, even if you have never talked to God or any angels or guides around you. You can ask them to help you. Even if you belong to another religious group, you can ask for the Holy Spirit to come in and help you here. Release some of these constraints. Somehow I get guilt here, feeling guilty about a separation maybe. But you can ask them to come in and help you. I'm not saying the release is going to be nice and peaceful. Sometimes we have to release certain emotions from the body to find more clarity also. Confusion can leave us procrastinate and not knowing what to do, like we are trapped, in our own mind. Eight of Swords is like a mental prison where our mind is trapping us. We don't see a way out. We don't know a way out. We don't believe that we can ever escape. When we get to the 9, this becomes even more hurtful. Like now it's really trapping you, and the 9, I believe this is where you fall even deeper down in depression, right? And that is a very terrible state. Of course, you're looking for a way out here, right? It's very exhausted to be trapped, you could say, in your mind. If you feel some kind of guilt or shame or like inner criticism, this could be a self-sabotaging inner critic. And we know that Virgo can have that tendency as a shadow effect, right? That it can become very self-critical. Maybe you are dealing with a Virgo here that has this. Like they keep sending this vibe to you, and it's very exhausting, right? You can call in some help here to help you release constraints, but these constraints are sometimes to get out, right? To walk away. And for some reason, I feel like this is that can be a connection, or the one you may be grieving about or feeling guilt about is it's not that easy. It's like you carry them around here. It's like it's not that easy to just forget about this. It's not that easy to forget about their departure, maybe the separation, the reason for everything. It's a very draining reason, I think. Maybe you have figured out what the reason was. And when you do that, it's actually putting you very down, right? It's a But in this situation, I feel like releasing constraints to the situation could be helpful. But like being in this energy is very difficult, so this is not going to come in like that quick. If you ask for guidance, like outside guidance, again, the hermit is alone. He usually does his things alone. He may not be very good at asking for help, or he chooses not to. Maybe you have already received help here, but you can't use it, right? You have all these kinds of information here, advice perhaps, but it's not helping you, right? Who is this red lady there? Who is she? Who is she? I get water here. Water for me suggests that this is someone you had a very, very close relationship with, water-wise. It means that it's a love relationship. We see how the heart is prominent here. We see how it says overflow here, like it's a loving, kind overflow. It showers you with something, right? It showers you with love here. But the absence also, like feels like it overshowers you with maybe the feeling of guilt or the feeling of longing or missing them, and grief maybe, and sorrow, right? They represent so much beauty, I think, for you, but the absence makes it like it's reversed, right? This, to me, it looks a little bit like an overflowing cup. So when the cup flows over, it means that it's such a beautiful connection. Water is consciousness also. It's energy of, you could say, it can be empathy. It can be that you feel you are still connected. It could be the feeling of like telepathy, but it just comes in very negatively here, right? And I think it's because it's the loss of it, like the loss or the absence of it makes it negative. That is why it's so exhausting, because we're looking here for it again, or looking for something similar, and you just don't find it, right? It's a never-ending search here of something that never seems to end. Releasing constraints to the past also, and past relationships, could be beneficial here. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's an advice. That's what I feel like here. River of blessings can come if we are able to release the constraints. So maybe there are tears to be cried here before a blessing can come in. Like sometimes when we lose people, first of all, the lack and the grief and everything reminds us that we had a very special connection with someone. We had love with someone. The water here. The overflowing cup. But when the cups are spilled, meaning that when they are suddenly not there, it's like everything is, it feels so empty, right? It feels so void. We feel like we are left alone, that a part of us was gone with them. I've talked about in some of the other readings that there is a way of turning this around into a sense of blessing, but it is a divine timing thing. You have to be ready to do it. This cannot be forced, I think. I think a grieving time or a void or an abscess time has to be there for our human heart and mind to be able to turn it around. What I say with this is that what you have experienced is a truly remarkable connection that is not presented to everyone. Not everyone have ever experienced what you have experienced. This is a very unique, special, important, beautiful, and very, very strong connection. And not everybody has access to that. Not everybody tries this in their lifetime. Having that experience is a blessing. That in itself, to have a connection like that, that is so special and so important and so embedded in you, is special. And losing it, of course, it feels terrible. In time, it will be possible to turn it around, but some of us, we get stuck in the grief, right? We get stuck in the void. We keep searching to find ways to numb it or to somehow. What I have said about, you could look at the reading called something about, do you have a broken heart? That I did before the new year. In that reading or in that video, I talk about how to reverse this around, like how to see some of the blessings found in this, and actually be grateful for that experience in life, because it's not granted for everyone. And how like they represent, you could say, a recipe of what you would like to have in your life. And maybe it's not found in a specific person. Maybe it's found in several people. Maybe it's found in a different workplace or a different environment. Maybe it's a puzzle piece to find it, you could say, or to find something similar. But keeping that memory with you with gratitude, right? Because when you sit with gratitude, it's such a different energy than if you sit with grief. If you sit with gratitude, you are now able to attract different things to you. And you will wake up with a different feeling, like the feeling is not so, it will not be like this, right? Grief is very draining to life force energy. It's a very low vibrational energy. It actually resembles death more than it resembles life. So it will drain energy. But I admit, admit that if you are totally and utterly grieving, like what I'm saying here is probably you're going to dismiss it because you are not aligned with this idea. But maybe just keep it in mind if you're still listening, right? It is possible to turn it around and see the blessing of it and being grateful that you actually did have that experience. because not everybody do. And they are still with you, they still love you. Like the love they had for you, this overshowering, beautiful, cleansing energy. Here she stands and is bathing naked here, right? She's quite, and she is totally surrounded by beautiful things here, right? This could be what this other person made you feel like. And now it's gone, right? So you feel the lack of this, like maybe protection and overflow of maybe adoration or, care, nurture, kindness, love here. So without them, you feel very, again, maybe unprotected, because it seems like there is this flowering ring around her that just makes her, I feel like blossom, like she's blossoming in this environment, right? And without it, they feel unprotected and hunted, I feel like, attacked in some way. There could be something about a turning, like like an energy that once was like this, but then it turned into a red, well, I don't see her as a demon, right? But like she has changed, maybe an energy that changed, which is the reason for the void, perhaps. And then there could be a guilt feeling of that. Maybe you have been again, I feel like this is a real big attack for Gemini. It's like if the twins that normally, like they stick together like glue, it takes quite a big problem for them to separate and become enemies, right? Like something very big has to happen and be the reason for a split up, a betrayal or something. There could be guilt feelings here of a betrayal that you may or may not have caused, but it has created a separation for some kind. Once you were best friends, you were nurturing to each other, right? And now you could be enemies. And that feeling of being so separated is very exhausting, at least for one of you here. Let's have a look at the other one here. Woman holding a coin. For some reason, I get to think about something about materialism versus heart, right? So things versus heart. Something about someone having their focus on money and things and luxury and maybe appearance. Look at her hair and makeup and style here. And then the other one has a focus on the heart, the feelings, the connection, the love we share, the connection we have with each other. It's a heart wish, and this one is more of a thing wish, right? That one is offering heart and one is offering things, and it's not aligned with each other. So I get the woman holding a coin here. An underlying energy for that, I get all tied up here. And when I think about that, it's like it's a feeling of being all tied up in the material realm of money and coin and things and luxury, maybe, right? That someone is all tied up in that. Like they are, if you see her, she's bound here. It's like she has no escape, right? That she's somehow all tied up in materialism, as I said, coin, things, status, spotlight, glory, Instagram, all this. Someone is very tied up in ego, maybe, right? In ego. And like dealing with someone like that is very exhausting if you have your heart in it, right? And you're looking for them to reciprocate, but they just don't, right? They just don't. Maybe these are different versions of yourself, right? That you have on one side, you have someone who is about loving, kindness and support here. Is asking to release constraints, let us, this can be someone who is seeking, like let's be friends again, let's see if we can figure this out, let's try, let's try to find a good solution. And over here someone is pretty tied up in their ego. But I think that once they were not, like once they, I said like what, this card is who she is here. Right? So this could be someone who comes in with a water wish. Like they always wanted water connection, you could say. And it's like it's haunting you. It's asking you to change your mind or maybe have a new conversation. It's like the message here is about, or the quarrel or the memory of something here is that you are so different, right? That it's one is pursuing the money and the coin, and is very tied up in that like they can't let go of this way of thinking, this way of, and this is probably the reason why there is this void, why it is, and trying to fix it, maybe seeking a solution on it. I think it's very exhausting to do that. Actually, I feel like you're wasting your time. If you are looking for answers on your own behalf, I would say that would probably be better. But if you're searching for answers on their behalf, like how to convince them or how to save them or how to get them out or how to something, that is not necessary. That's why it's exhausting here, Because if they've made up their mind and they are all tied up and bound to whatever they are in, and not at all wanting to let go of anything, not wanting to change their ways, they are set and fixed in their ways, you have there is no way of fixing that. And again, maybe also asking yourself, why do you want to persuade someone to leave? Like they seem like they are quite convinced to stay here, right? They don't look like they are bad off. Like they look like they are pretty content here. Why do you wanna, like, we can tell people our opinion, but if they turn away from it and walk the other way, it's probably because they don't want to listen, right? Looking for answers here with someone who is only into things and stuff and like appearance or spotlight or money, you will not find the heart connection there. If that's what you're looking for. This one is watery, right? It's they are tied up in, like being very tied up in something here that can be dark, shadowy. So they could be tied up in some kind of trauma or something, or some kind of sadness, or maybe a secret here. But that's why they act like they do. That's why they look the way they do, why they are holding a coin here and not a heart. They're not prepared to offer something that is heart related. They are tied up in something, restricted in some way or constrained in some way. These can be sides of yourself also. Maybe you stand here and you don't know where to go. Like, do I want to pursue this route, or do I want to pursue this one? Because you look, if you take these two and put them aside, this one looks, you would say, well, maybe not contemporary, but she could attend normal life and be social and everything. This looks a little more like a shaman, right? That is working with a very big animal here in the background. You see how the colors are very different here. It's like two different approach to life. Maybe you are coming to some kind of crossroad where you have to decide that the life you're living is not giving you maybe happiness, it's exhausting you. And maybe you have come to this, like the snake is like this aha moment where you see that either I get out, but I may need to find ways to get myself out here towards a life that may be more in alignment with my core, like who I really am, because I'm definitely miserable here. So I could continue this maybe, or align myself with this or people like this, but it will still make me feel I've said in the Taurus reading, I said that an inauthentic life makes us miserable. That's what I feel is happening here. Like if it's inauthentic, it's making you miserable. I don't know if you are denying yourself someone here, that you know that you deny a specific side of yourself, that you deny the existence of something here. Or for some reason, maybe because of money, you know that for some reason, maybe because of money or status or life choices in that regard, it has created a void between you, right? One could be living their life like this and the other one like this. And that is the void. That is the reason why there is no contact, you know. But we see in the middle here, it's like it's not fun. It's not a good choice, or it's definitely, maybe the snake here is like, as I said, like an epiphany that for some reason an inauthentic life is a miserable one. Or as I said with the Taurus reading, I said there's more to Taurus than just material things, that there's more to them, that maybe that's the same here, like there's more to Gemini, right? There's more to all of us. So let's have a look at this one here. How interesting! I get Hermit card here. Hermit card, right? So I have two hermits here. Again, it's interesting how this hermit and hermit, right? It's like and this is crossing. So it means that someone here is clearly looking. It is in the center of the reading. So this is an important, maybe very current feeling, right? Or attempt. Someone is looking, someone here is not looking. It's a crossing card. So it usually means that it's either negative or it's not active. It's maybe like a roadblock. Someone here is clearly tied up in an ego, not looking for answers, not open. Like the door is closed here, right? The door is closed to look for certain answers. They don't look for answers. They don't feel an urge to do so. They don't feel a need to look. Like they have said goodbye. They have said, done dollar, I'm out. I don't want to participate. And someone seems like they are still searching for a way to find a connection. I feel like it could be a sense of like a waste of time, or you have to consider whether it's a waste of time, right? Whom you are. Again, look at how the direction here is. Like he's walking towards this, right? Away from your own river of blessings. If you can release the constraints you are in. It's like a codependent search for someone who has clearly shut the door. Like they are not searching. They have a closed door here. They are not looking. They are not even interested. And what they have to show up with here is only like a material or more, like a gesture somehow. They are into the material realm. They look for wealth and status and money, and they are not prepared to offer anything watery, anything that can actually bring you this, right? That can bring you this this overflow of love and consideration and attention and adoration, or or just create the right boundary for you to feel free here, to express yourself and be open and playful and whatever this is here, right? So the one you have in mind here, the one you remember, the one you wanna connect with here, like she is, and look at how she is out of the picture now. It's almost hilarious. We put her up here, right? It's like this is the one you're looking for, right? But it's not the one who is around. I even want to say this can even go even further, that this is the woman that men want, right? She is the open, receptive, flowing, free, playful, loving kind of woman, right? But most women today, they become more like this, right? Because they are restricted by religion and culture and all kinds of stuff. They look for the coin here, right? Maybe that's the people you have been meeting, and you would like someone who is like this, right? Who values maybe nature, values heart connection, values a true, real connection. So no wonder you are in some kind of nightmare here, right? It's like the people you end up meeting is not the ones you're hoping for. You may hope you could find someone like this, right? Someone who could come in with a loving, angelic support and relieve your constraints maybe here. Someone who is a blessing that comes in, but you end up maybe only meeting people like this. If that's the case, you have to consider why you end up with that. Like the reason why they come into your life is because you somehow attracted. For some reason they believe that they get attracted to you, you get attracted to them perhaps. Maybe you would like it to be more of this, right? That someone could be, why do they all have to be tied up in some kind of way here? Why are they not just free? All tied up could also suggest that you only meet people who are already taken. They are already married. They are already in a relationship. They are already, so it ends up becoming an affair or something, right? That maybe you're looking for someone who is actually kind-hearted and good and like able to have an open heart here. Be available, is open, is receptive, is interested, is not taken, not tied up, not already bound to something. Someone who is more free, someone who is more available, someone who has a kind, pure heart perhaps, or something like that. Feeling that it's almost impossible to find someone like that. One of the reasons is that, you are looking in some kind of direction, but they are not looking for you, right? They are not aligned with you. There's another interesting thing here, is that usually the people that are open, those that have, those that say yes, those that want to support you, those that actually do want to offer something, sometimes we turn away from them. We take them for granted. And the ones that we want to persuade are those that don't, that have the door closed. Those that are somehow like a competition for us. This could also be what you are realizing here, what the snake represents, that you can become aware of whether you get attracted to people that have the door closed. Because then you have to conquer it, right? You have to prove yourself. You have to make them see. You have to persuade them. You have to, and because of that, now you have a fight. You have something to conquer. You have something to persuade. You have something to where you can demonstrate force or power, right? Where those over here that already have shown their loving support, those that are already, they are not interesting. You turn your back to them because they are not they don't give you action. They don't give you drama. They don't give you, like you have to put in a fight for them. They have already said yes. They have already maybe given you rivers of blessings. They have already shown you that they are here and they are helpful and you can rely on them. Those that this is why I feel like sexual attraction is not about love, it's about power. We get attracted to the people that for some reason they are inviting us into a power struggle. They are inviting us into this dance, right? Somehow. This dance of willpower. Willpower and surrender, right? It's a dance of winning or losing, or winning or giving up, or it's a dance. Where over here it's not the same. Like here we can relax, right? Because nobody is challenging us. There's more peace here, and here there's more drama. They are all tied up, meaning they are locked in their ways. They are protecting themselves. They only see this. This is what they have to offer here, or what they are showing up with. And they have a closed door. And when you meet the closed door, it can feel like, no, I'm not accepting that closed door. I wanna break it. I want to see if I can come in. I want to see if I can, persuade them, flirt myself around them. I want to see if I can seduce them to open, right? I want to see if they can somehow open up for more. Maybe they can open up for more, right? And for some reason, this is very seductive. We get lured into this again and again. Where over here, you may have people that love you. They open their arms always. They will take you in always. They will always do that. But you don't see them. You've turned your back to them here. They are there. And maybe that's the one that you are actually looking for, right? They would overshower you with something here. But you're closing your eyes to it. You don't go there. You would rather be in like an endless fight here with someone. You may ask yourself, why is it that you would rather be in an endless fight with someone? To see if you can open the doors here. And they are not opening the doors. They just say, off limit, right? It's off limit. And you have been in a search here to pursue someone, perhaps here. Finding a way in here. Magician, finding a way in. But why are you trying to finding a way in with someone who has closed the door finally? Final. It's final. Done. I don't want, no, right? Keep trying. Why do you want to be in something that is very exhausting? My suggestion is that you are attracted to or addicted to drama. That's the only reason why we seek something that is unattainable. Or we are seeking something that is unattainable because deep down we feel we are not worthy of it. But we're still trying to fix that, right? We're trying to fix an unworthiness by trying to become worthy. But it's very exhausting to keep up the game here. But again, nobody over here is going to mirror that to you unless you feel it inside. When you feel worthy inside, you are going to attract people into your life who will see that worthiness. You don't have to fight an endless fight here to persuade someone that you are worthy. You already are. It feels like a very never-ending. Again, as I said, she stands here with like the red, and the red color for me is always like a. He is wearing red here, and the hermit has a red ribbon here. It's like they have something. Like they represent something that you desperately want to be recognized about you, or like the red can talk about the root chakra. The root chakra is usually where we are wounded somehow. The root chakra carries trauma. It carries our roots, what we know, the basic instinctual relationships we have. Maybe the things we grew up with, right? So you could have grown up with a parent who gave you things but never love, right? And all you're looking for is this. You're looking for an overflow of love. Why can't I find people that seem to want to open their hearts to me, and where we can have this heart exchange? It's frustrating me and confusing me. I don't know how to find it. I end up with these people all the time. I think you have both around you. Like this is here and this is here. But it's like you are looking over here for something. The one you have in mind here, who is gone perhaps, is about the water. Maybe they were kind. Maybe they didn't judge, or they didn't, they didn't judge you. Maybe they were kind. They actually brought something else to the table. Sometimes what I also see about this card is the ability to relax and be free flowing, She's bathing here and just enjoying herself, being free. There are flowers here and lotuses, and it's all very shining and beautiful, and very like heart oriented here also. In that way, she's quite beautiful, and I feel like it could be something you're looking for, right? Someone who would be the kind, someone who would come in with some kind of loving support, but it's there. It's right there with you. You just don't see it. You don't see it. Because they are very different than this one. This one could be very, very pretty. Very good looking, right? And dressing dressing, like a fashion model here, right? all the right things, you could say, right? And over here we have someone, they're not like that. Like they are maybe more natural, or they wear different outfits, or you see the color is more earthy colors, more like they could be more plain, maybe in your eyes, more plain, not as beautiful and colorful as this one. I get it why we get allured over here. It's more colorful, it's more it could seem like more promising with the coin, right? That it's richer, it's wealthier, maybe and it has values that go with that. So luxury travels, fashion clothes, like high-end fashion things, something expensive, luxurious. It looks good. It's Instagram friendly. It is it sells. It's something that sells itself, right? It's selling itself. Where over here it could be more plain. Maybe that's why you don't see it. But it could be beautiful underneath it all. It could be quite beautiful. And exactly what you're looking for. But again, the back turned here. The back turned. The awareness is over here, right? The awareness is over here to things that are tied up, things that can't seem to change. It's unchangeable. It's an unchangeable situation, an unchangeable story, maybe, an unchangeable or unforgivable story, or unchangeable, unforgivable story. And having your focus a lot on that. Where this would suggest maybe just being grateful for what you have and what you have experienced. Maybe this is a dilemma that can't be solved. You cannot solve it alone if someone else over here has closed the door. The door is closed. This can also indicate they are on the other side. There is no connection to them on the other side. They have closed the door on you. They don't want to talk to you. It's final, it's done, it's over. You have no way of reaching them, no way of... They are saying no. And you are dreaming about someone who is definitely related with root, or somehow root connected, and they are like this here, right? They have this watery element about them. Like she looks a bit like an octopus with all these arms here, right? That maybe she was a multitasker, very good at multitasking, or doing more things at once. She has a lot of water to offer here. She's very cleansing, maybe, like she could feel cleansing to your... purifying or cleansing to your life, Makes you feel good, again, that kind of connection. It seems like there is a determinism about wanting to move in some kind of direction or towards someone here. It could be, like a search for fame or something, leaving something plain behind and searching for something plain. But again, when you do that, the more you own, the more money you have, the more status you have, the more fashion clothes you have, and the more need you have to keep it constantly up, the more you also have to sustain. Like, you can't look the other way for a few months. Then you are unfashionable. You need to change your hair, your makeup, your clothing again. Like, the more of this you have, the more luxury, the more like fashion cars and the beautiful home and whatever, the more you have of that, the more tied up you get. Because it needs reinforcement, it needs to be sustained, right? It needs a constant money flow, it needs money. Where a life like this, with releasing constraints or attachment, this is being attached to many things, right? Many things about yourself, a partner perhaps, many things about your home, the social group you are a part of, and there can be a sense of a closed door. You don't necessarily just get in there unless you can really be like this. The other side here has to do with less attachment, less constraint, a life that is more minimalistic maybe here. A life where things are, I want to say, simpler. Over here you have a lifestyle that concentrates on what really feels right, what really is true to your nature. And because you have released constraints, you have surrounded yourself with what is important to you, what may actually really matter here, right? And you have released some of the things that don't matter. For instance, this would be someone, as I say, maybe more plain to look at. They may not have the latest fashion clothes. They may actually dress quite boring maybe, or not very into this whole fashion scene. They may seem, like their values are very different. They don't care about fashion clothes. They care about like a heart connection. They care about love. They care about honesty maybe, or they care about other kinds of values. They don't care about Instagram. They live a totally different life of peace maybe, or of more harmony seeking here. So you see the difference between those two, right? You can have a different life if you're willing to release constraints. It feels almost like a fork in the road, that you stand here and you are realizing something, like this fork in a road, like what choice do you want to make, Gemini? It's like you are presented with both lifestyles, but also seeing how it's tying you up to be very attached to all kinds of things, different people in your life, right? And not wanting to budge, and not wanting to like get out or stop it, right? There is no way out. This is a yes or no. Like either it's popular or it's unpopular. Either it's good enough or not good enough. Either it's fashionable or it's not fashionable. It's a very dualistic world over here. And there is no open door for anything else. It is tied up in that way. That's how it's created. That's how it functions. That is how it feeds. It's like that. This is a different life. It's a different life. It's looking for something entirely different. It has different values here. So you see, if you are in some kind of relationship with someone, or you have a twin, literally a physical, biological twin, and you are in total different opposite groups here, you will not, even if you try to find a way in, they have shut the door to you. They don't see you as part of the social group. They don't align with you. They don't have the same values, even though they are blood, you could say, blood related. They don't have that. They don't see the like eye to eye with you. They don't want any opening. Like that could be the block you are facing now, right? That it's extremely exhausting to try to make someone see who doesn't want to see. Like they don't have the same values. They come from and maybe that's why the void is there. The void is there for a reason. Maybe this suggests that you are trying, like you're trying to find a way in. You keep sending them postcards or an email or emojis, or you try to find a way in. You try to approach. You try to even in a more hermit-like way, like like finding a way around a problem, right? Trying to find a way around this closed door here. But they don't seem to budge, right? Or they're not ready to. They're not ready to make any change or see things differently. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they never will. So I wanted another card on the woman holding a coin, and I get called here. We have Mercury retrograding. Maybe they're calling you. Maybe you get a call from them. An invitation, something like that. And you may be drawn to like go towards this. Or you have this fork in the road where you're wondering if you want to go there, right? For now, it seems like the hermit, like the door is closed. They don't want, maybe they hear the call even to awakening, right? But they are still, the door is still closed here. Again, they may hear the call, but not doing anything. They're not budging, I feel like. Maybe they hear your call, right? But they're still not budging. The only thing they offer you here is something superficial, I think. Or, monetary help or something. They can't offer you anything else. They are tied up. Like they... during Mercury retrograde, which we have right now, sometimes people come back from the past, right? And you could have that call. Maybe someone is, showing up, sending you a mail or something. You're wondering here, like the fork in the road, is this going to be if I go over there, is this going to be toxic, or is it going to be useful for me? Can I trust it, I don't think you can, actually. I think the door is closed here. They're not looking for that kind of answers. They're prepared, even if you talk to them. They're not prepared to open up their heart and offer you any kind of knowledge. Or even you say here that I said that maybe you are looking into some kind of secret here, some kind of information from your past, family story. Maybe the feeling, if you feel like, what if I was adopted or something? They are not going to tell you anything here. So it could be the feeling of a roadblock. I can't seem to get any information from this other person. Or even about the person. The door is closed here. And this is a dilemma, right? Because we want some kind of closure. We're seeking some kind of information. And this one is not budging. So this means, again, a power struggle. As long as they don't budge, they have some kind of power over you, unless you can release the constraint, unless you can release the attachment to this story. Unless you can somehow release the need to know, or release the need to have closure. As long as you have a need and you're searching for closure or contact, this is where they have the upper hand, right? They are controlling you in that way. The blessing can come if you can release this attachment, this codependency, this need for closure, or this need for an apology, or this need for, and they're not giving it to you, or they're not giving you information. Because staying in this dynamic is going to be like exhausting you, right? It's very, very difficult, and you will never, ever, ever get what it is you're looking for. And believe me, because I have been here, exactly there, not understanding why someone would keep me at bay, not saying anything, no willingness to comply, no willingness to work with me, no willingness to just open up a little bit, nothing. I've been there. And it's extremely exhausting to keep being there with someone or something that is not budging. It means that you have to give up, you could say, fighting here. You have to let go of the fighting. You have to let go of getting things your way. You have to let go or release control of a situation. Accepting the fact that you will never ever know. You will never ever have that closure. The only one who can give you that closure is yourself. Over here, they are not budging. So do you want to stay in a never-ending story of someone having power over you because they are not giving you closure? Or do you tell yourself that, okay, I don't want to be in this game with you. I'm not like staying in that game with you. I must somehow give myself closure because you are not giving it to me. I must seek my information somewhere else, or I am stop searching. I stop searching here. I stop engaging. I stop searching. And I look the other way and I allow myself to release that attachment to some kind of outcome, a particular outcome I'm looking for, but they are not, right? So if I can release the need for a particular outcome, and I can turn around and look at what blessings I do have in my life, what people are here that love me and support me, instead of constantly being, interacting with something that just cuts you off, right? If you can turn around and you can look over here, you will know that there are blessings here. But it's like you can almost not enjoy those blessings if you can't have your outcome. But that outcome is a product of your own control. You want to control a situation. You want a particular outcome or information or access to certain information, and you are not getting it. It keeps you interacting with them. Maybe they are doing this on purpose, like maybe they are, I'm not sure though. It seems like tied up means that they can be armored, like they are armored up to protect themselves. And that's why they have nothing else to offer but this. The door is closed here. The call can suggest an incoming message from them, or a conversation. But that conversation is again just confirming the fact that you will never have access to their heart, right? Or information, or like a true heart connection or true feelings. They are only interested in certain things, or they are only able to offer certain things. That is what it is. It is what it is. A closed door. And you keep knocking on it, right? You want it to open and it doesn't want to open. So it's like two wills that are battling each other. And you can keep knocking that door, but the one who has the upper hand is the one who is in charge of opening the other door. You have no power here. You keep knocking. Nobody is opening. The one who has the power is the other one, this one. They decide when to open, or if to open at all. It's this one, not you. Do you see the difference of this? Like you can be engaged in this for a long, long, long time, and I think you have, and it's not helping at all, is it? You have no power here. The power could be that you walk away from it, that you turn around and walk away from it. Or you go in a different direction, you get information somewhere else. Because it seems like who you are in standing in front of here, they're not budging, and that's why there is this void. There is no information. I said in the beginning, it's like there's nothing here. Nothing shared, nothing going on. It's empty. It's like starvation, right? For you perhaps. But I don't think for them, like they are not into this. They are tied up in some other way. They are not invested. They don't want to share. They don't want to open. They don't want to commit or engage or something. And of course you can try, knocking at the door, but they have the upper hand here. And the more you engage, the more like sleepless nights you have over this, the more they can hear your knock, right? They can hear your call, perhaps your knock here, right? But they are in charge whether they want to open up and say something or not. And you can try to persevere and stay and keep being like persistent, but they can do the same here. If you are equally strong-willed, they will just keep it up, and you can become more and more exhausted in trying here. But you could also turn around and say, okay, I count my blessings here because I do have some. I go to those that actually care. I look at those that are my friends here. I look at those I can count on for assistance. And instead of the drama and the closed door and the unwillingness, I can actually find willingness here. I can find open arms here. This is a different environment. But if I knock on the doors over here, they will open. So you may ask yourself why you keep knocking on doors that are not opening for you. They clearly don't want you. I'm sorry to say, but they don't want you. You don't belong there, perhaps. Like who is Gemini at the core here? Can we have a card on that? Because sometimes the core is actually the reason why the doors are not opening. What is this Virgo at the core? I get 6 of fire here. Six of fire is like the 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands talks about victory, success. So the Hermit would like to have victory and success, and that's why you keep knocking on the door. But it's a very exhausting game here for you, right? Victory and success, though, I feel like with this card could also come from the fact of, like fly above it. Like when you look at the card here, it's like a ship that is, it's connected with a big air balloon here that can kind of just, like lift the ship up and lift it over, you could say, or let it levitate and fly over the problem, you could say, right? So this could also suggest that the Virgo part in you or the magician in you here could levitate, like don't get caught up in the small picture, right? Look at the bigger picture of this. put yourself somewhere else where you can look at this from a different angle. Or as I'm doing now, I'm showing you a different angle perhaps to the situation you might be in, right? That if you look from a different angle, you would know that it's a power struggle, first of all. You want to win perhaps, but the need to win something can actually be your biggest obstacle. That could also be what the snake suggests here, that your need of winning a situation over or win someone over can be the biggest obstacle here for you in this case. The need to win, or the need to have the upper hand, or the last say, or getting things your way can actually be the biggest obstacle here. So if you at your core is a competitor here, that you want to compete and win something, if that's your core, I want to say that can be your greatest obstacle. That there are ways of getting to your victory, but you may need to levitate. You may need to get out of the usual Virgo ways. I've said this before with Virgo. Grow your wings, fly up, look from a different angle, and you will see differently, right? Grow your wings. Maybe you are caught up in a monetary dispute that is creating the void, right? And there is a bigger win to have if you levitate up, if you can somehow rise up and see the bigger picture of how this keeps you engaged, but it's draining you here. It keeps you engaged, but it's draining you. And that is not the win you want, right? That is not success for you, right? The fighting, I don't know if you feel like as long as you're fighting, you are somehow, as long as you're fighting, you're not losing. Like giving up fighting, even though you are exhausted here, would mean that you lose. Then you become a loser, right? That could be what you think about that situation. But if I give up now, I become a loser. Yeah, but are you really? Like, are you? Because if you get drained by this, even sick perhaps, depressed, sleepless nights, endless search, endless knocking on a door, that is also a lose situation. So maybe walking away from it, searching somewhere else, taking your ship somewhere else, looking from a different angle, maybe even associate yourself with someone, maybe having help from someone here who lifts you up, who lifts you and make you see things from a different perspective. That could be helpful. That could give you the win that you may be looking for, right? The win doesn't necessarily come from closure. Sometimes you have to give yourself that closure if someone else doesn't want to. You have to go through your own emotions of why you may feel guilty or shameful or constricted or unworthy or something. Why is it you feel like that? You can find your closure yourself. It has nothing to do with them. You are the one feeling the way you feel because of someone else's closed door. So you don't like closed doors, perhaps. You want the door to open. Why is it you want open doors? Why can't you accept the closed door? Them saying no. Maybe it's because you want to be in charge, right? You want to be the one in charge. You want to be the one in control. You want to be the one that has fixed something, maybe. And you want to get that feeling that I have fixed it, I have cleared it, I have been victorious over something or someone. But maybe that's the biggest obstacle here. That maybe it's not about fighting and winning. But if this is you, like if this is you at your core and you want to have success, you want to be able to figure this out, you want to be able to have that closure, this is what you fixate on. You want to get things your way, you want to have your success, not theirs, your success. But this can be your greatest obstacle, right? That you want success and it's exhausting you. So maybe letting go of the success, letting go of the need for that success for a particular outcome is a way of getting your closure. And then you're not engaging with them over here. They are tied up anyway, so they will not necessarily budge. So I get, for the all tied up here, I get 6 of Michael. It says it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation or travel. They are tied up still in the storm here of something. Well, maybe they hear the call to somehow get out and do something, but they are still there. 6 of Michael suggests that they are looking for a way to maybe get to calmer waters, but are still tied up in how to doing that. Again, as I said, it can be aspects of yourself. You feel like you have two different sides competing against each other, right? Maybe you are the Gemini over here, perhaps not budging, and you're dealing with a Virgo that keeps knocking, on the door. Because they want to have a victory with you. They want to have victory with some kind of outcome. But it could be like a feeling of like an energetic thing that is just, it hangs in the air, The last time you were in the same room, there was these clouds hanging, sending lightning balls towards each other, right? Maybe you didn't say anything. You were just sitting in the room, but you could feel the dark clouds, right? You could feel the storm here, right? Or the cold air, this feeling. You want the open doors. You want the embrace. You want the forgiveness, maybe. You want the release out of this. They don't. And they can keep you here if you let them. Because you keep engaging with them, right? Maybe you shouldn't engage with them. And turn around and look what you actually have. What is actually here. That when you release that constraint, when you release this attachment to a certain outcome, it will actually be a blessing. It will take away a lot of burdens or a lot of... But it's not difficult to change your ways. It's not difficult to turn your ego around. And this could be what you like. The reason why this feels so exhausting is because it, like, your ego is pushing for some kind of outcome, but it's not happening. Maybe you should just restrain it. Try to just let it go. Like, what you are doing is putting control over a situation. You want to control the situation. But the one in control is this one here. If they like being in control, they just stay like that. This is what I have. This is what I see. They may call you to still get you engaged here. You know, they may say that they would like to have a new beginning or find a solution of some kind. But I see them being all tied up. I'm not sure that that is going to be true. So this is what I have, Gemini. But when you know your core here, if you are true to yourself and this is your core, or the one you're dealing with has this core, you will understand why they keep trying, right? Why they it's like they can't not try. Because they want a victorious outcome of some kind. That's why they keep trying. But it's also, you know, like when they try something here, it's because they want to win. Like they want to have success here. That all their effort that they have put in here has not been in vain. It has actually been successful here. Even though it has been a struggle, it has been a fight, it was worth everything because I had a good outcome here. But you ask yourself, if you are in this fight and you feel exhausted by it, do you want to continue fighting? You have to confront that ego part of you if you resonate with this. This is what I have, Gemini. Hope this helped somehow. Take care of yourself out there. Love and light to you. Bye bye.